It's October 1st, which means welcome to Vlog-O-Ween! Oh my god, guys, it feels so good to say that. You guys know that this, I think, is my third year in a row doing Vlog-O-Ween, where I'll be posting every single day in the month of October. Well, I'm gonna try. I do have some obligations coming up this month that may make it so I can't post every day, but I'm gonna do my very best to post every single day. And on the days that I don't feel like posting, I'm just gonna go live on YouTube, whether it's playing horror games or just chit-chatting and hanging out with you guys. We're gonna have a good time. So for today's video, I'll be ranking 36. That's right, I said 36 Halloween inspired palettes. Last year I ranked top 10, but I think I had like 25 in total, and now we have 36. So sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and rank all of my Halloween inspired palettes. Oh my god, guys, this series is so much fun. I love ranking my Halloween inspired palettes. I don't know, I just think it's so exciting, especially because it's my month. It's my anniversary month. My birthday's on the 26th. It's Halloween. I just love Halloween so much. So last year I ranked my top 10 Halloween palettes, so I think I had 25 in total, where I had like honorable mentions. This year I want to switch it up and this time just rank my top 36 Halloween inspired eyeshadow palettes. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on in. So coming in at number 36, we do have the Disney's Misunderstood Villain palette. Now the reason why I put this in here, well, it's villains. And, you know, for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween event, they always bring out all the villains, which is so nice because you like never get to see them. So I thought, why not actually feature this in today's video, because I can see myself using this palette during the month of Halloween. They do have some Halloween inspired colors, not fully, but just enough to get me super excited for Halloween, like that green and that orange that's in here, maybe the purple, the gold. I can see some Halloween looks with this, and also it's villains, and Disney loves featuring the villains during the Halloween event, so we have to put this in here. So number 36, we do have the Disney's X ColourPop Misunderstood Villain palette. Coming in at number 35, we do have the Day of the Dead palette from Melt Cosmetics. Now I did feature this last year in my ranking, and it's featured again this year, and the reason why this is in here is because it's the Day of the Dead palette, and Day of the Dead is definitely associated with Halloween. Well, I think it occurs a couple days after Halloween, but I still like to associated with it. And so we have this palette right here. This is the Life palette. Now this is actually full of bright colors, and I usually don't necessarily always associate this with Halloween, but I could definitely see myself from the brown onward as a Halloween inspired colors. I can definitely create really fun Halloween looks using this. Plus it's a Day of the Dead palette, so of course we have to feature this. So number 35, we have the Melt Cosmetics Day of the Dead Life palette. At number 34, we do have the Melt Cosmetics. This is the Day of the Dead palette as well, but this is the Death palette right here. Now this definitely does scream Halloween to me. You're gonna have those deep bold colors in here. We can create really fun, like spooky-esque Halloween looks. I absolutely do love this palette. I had the best time when I reviewed this collection. Like Melt really did a really good job with this, and this formula in here I really do enjoy compared to some of their newer formulas. I don't know if they did reformulate or what, but I also been told to check your Melt palettes as well, because some people have been finding mold in their palettes. Like I know Teresa did, then had a few subscribers saying they found mold as well. So just be kind of mindful when shopping with Melt that some of these palettes are coming in a little weird. I don't know why, but I still love this palette. I still get such great memories of this, and I still use it in the month of Halloween. So coming at number 34, we do have the Melt Cosmetics Day of the Dead Death palette. And at number 33, now this doesn't seem like a Halloween palette at all, and let me explain why I'm putting it in here. But we do have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the Lore palette right here. Now this is a mermaid inspired palette, so definitely would not think that this would be Halloween, right? Well, I would say it could be, because you can use this palette as like a Halloween feel palette. You can create like very beautiful siren looks. Like a lot of people do like to dress up as like mermaids for Halloween, or like as, you know, creepy sirens or like deadly sirens. I mean, technically, according to folklore, mermaids are not like the Disney version. They are these sirens that lure men to their death, and so that to me can be like Halloween inspired. So that's why I'm going to put this at today at number 33, because even though it doesn't really have fully Halloween colors in here, it is a mermaid-esque palette, and I do associate mermaids with sirens and the lures and like Halloween, and I did create like a really fun Halloween like mermaid look years ago, and these are the colors I definitely would go into. Maybe use the deeper colors if you wish to do so. So while it's not meant for Halloween, I just associate the theming of it as like a lore siren palette. Let me bring the men to their death. Coming in number 33, we do have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Lore Palette. Coming in at number 32, we do have the Chaotic Cosmetics. This is the Brainwash Palette. Now, I received this I think 2 years ago, and this is supposed to be like a hypnotic, like scientist experiment gone wrong palette. So while the colors in here don't fully scream Halloween, they do have some Halloween feels to it because I can associate some of these colors. Like I would do the orange, the yellow, the greens, and then obviously the shimmers for Halloween. And plus it's like a brainwash scientist experiment. This was a Halloween collection that I had a great time reviewing. So definitely have to feature it in today's video, but it is a little bit lower on the list because it's not as Halloween as the other palettes are before it, but I still do associate this with Halloween. I mean, I have great memories playing with this palette. So coming in at number 33, we do have the Chaotic Cosmetics. This is the Brainwash palette. Coming in at number 31, we do have another Chaotic Cosmetics palette. Now this is the first palette I ever tried from this brand. This is the Dreadful palette. Now this actually came in a Halloween mystery box, and this definitely has some Halloween feels. So first off, we do the outside packaging like a monster. Kind of reminds me of like the show All Real Monsters. Do you guys remember that? Such a great show. What a classic. But we do have the Dreadful palette, and then you open the inside, you are going to have those Halloween-esque themes in here. You're going to have the Vampire Kiss, Ghostly Bones, a Deadly, Trick or Treat, Pumpkin Snack, Phantom, Hocus Pocus, Rusty. Like you have the Halloween colors along with the Halloween names. Now while it's not fully my favorite Halloween palette, it's a Halloween palette. Like to and through, it's a Halloween palette. But I definitely had a lot of fun playing with this. I think Chaotic Cosmetics did a good job at capturing the essence of Halloween with this. So that is why at number 31 we did the Chaotic Cosmetics Dreadful palette. Coming in at number 30, we do have the Game Beauty. This is the Harbinger palette right here. Now this actually launched last year. I could be wrong, but I believe it did launch last year. First off, we do have the outside. So first off, we do the outside packaging of like the Harbinger, which usually is the Harbinger of Death, especially like in video games. So you have the Harbinger of Death, which definitely is associated with Halloween. And then you open the inside, you definitely have some Halloween themed colors in here. You're gonna have those cool tone black, grays, red, and purples, definitely associated with the month of Halloween. So I definitely want to feature in today's video. While it may not be fully Halloween theme, it does remind me of Halloween because it did come out during that time, and it definitely just has a Halloween feel to it, especially being the Harbinger, which usually is associated with Harbinger of Death. So coming in at number 30, we do have the Game Beauty Harbinger palette. Coming number 29, we do have the Lethal is Dead. This is Teresa is Dead collaboration with Lethal Cosmetics, and I absolutely loved playing with this palette. This was such a fun palette. I remember I did like a spooky, like almost swamp vibes when I played with this palette, and I just really just have good associations with this. To me, this definitely has some Halloween colors to it. One has Halloween names like Body Snatched, Watery Grave, Creature Feature, Predator. Like Teresa is the queen of spooky and Halloween. She loves it just as much as I do. So does Betty Jean. So like I just love how much they love Halloween, and should definitely try to capture that in the names and just the essence of this palette. So I love playing with this. I definitely could see myself playing with like these colors in particular for the month of Halloween. I loved the first look I ever created with this. Such a fun palette. So that is why at number 29 we do have the Lethal is Dead. This is the Teresa is Dead X Lethal Cosmetics collaboration. So coming in at number 28, this was not really meant to be a Halloween palette, but I still kind of associate it with it. But we do have a Gourmand Girls Nightshade palette. Now I do know that Nightshade is a very like poisonous plant, and I is definitely able to associate that with Halloween. But you know, look at the colors on the inside. While it's not necessarily fully Halloween colors, it has Halloween colors. We have those purples, those greens, those blacks, and that just really reminds me of like a witchy feel or like a poison ivy feel, and I can see myself using this for the month of Halloween. I think it's a very gorgeous palette. I think they did such a phenomenal job with this. And I remember when I reviewed this palette, I said this reminds me of Halloween, and it does. It really does remind me of Halloween. I absolutely loved it. I think Gourmand Girls did such a great job with this. So that is why at number 28 we do have the Gourmand Girls X Doodles by the Bunny Nightshade palette. Coming in at number 27, we do have the Teresa is Lethal palette. Now this is the hot older sister to the Lethal is Dead palette, and first off, the outside packaging. Aliens, such great vibes, especially for Halloween. Reminds me of it so much. Plus it just screams Teresa. And when you open the palette on the inside, this is just so beautiful. This is like the hot older version of the Teresa is Lethal palette. And again, I have colors in here that I can use for Halloween. Like this whole row right here, I can see myself doing like swamp vibes with this, alien vibes with this, such fun, like maybe like mummy-esque vibes with this. Such a gorgeous palette. Teresa really did knock it out of the water with this. Plus it does kind of have like a little bit of like Halloween feel, a little bit with the names like Area 51, Space Duster, Plutonium, Space Specimen 3, like Venus Envy, like so freaking cool. So that is why coming in at number 27, we do have the Teresa's Lethal palette. Coming in at number 26, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics collaboration with Miss Heather Austin. This is the Resurgence palette. Now this wasn't necessarily a Halloween palette, but it does have some Halloween-esque feel. So first off, we do have the bugs. We do have the bugs on here, which I kind of associate bugs and Halloween together, right? It could be put together. But also it's resurgence. So it's all about like the circle of life and like life and death. So I always associate that usually with like Halloween, like new beginnings, old like new beginnings and closing old stuff. But we do have the inside color story right here. And now the inside color story fully isn't Halloween, but I could still do some really fun Halloween looks with this. I could play with the regeneration, with beetle, with cremation, with cosmology, with this shade right here. Like there are some really fun shades in here that I can definitely use for the Halloween season. I remember when I reviewed this palette, I said this reminds me a lot of Halloween. I got super excited and I just feel like this is a perfect like nod to Halloween in a sense. I can see myself using it all month long for it. So that is why coming at number 6, we do have the Unearthly collaboration with Heather Austin's Resurgence palette. And at number 25, we do have the Melt Cosmetics. This is the Beetlejuice Recently Deceased palette. Now I did have 2 of them. I did declutter the other one, like the waiting room one that was like all red, just because I generally just never would have used that palette. I'm not the biggest fan of all red palettes. You guys know it's not my color. I've just never been a big fan of it, but I really do enjoy this palette. Whenever I think Beetlejuice, I always think of Halloween. And I feel like it's because I always watch it during Halloween, even though it's like, I don't think it's supposed to be a Halloween movie. It still is in my mind. And so many of you guys told me to get the Nightmare Before Christmas collection to review. I could do it for you guys. I can, if that's what you guys want. You guys seem really excited for me to review that. I just don't like how it's called Halloween Town, but that's just me. But on the inside, come on. This is Halloween. Like, look at those colors. Those are definitely fun, festive Halloween colors. You can create so many different, like, witchy vibes with this. Like, either like a green witch, a purple witch, however you want to do so. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I think Melt did a really good job at capturing the essence of Beetlejuice when they created this. So I definitely had a lot of fun playing with this. So that is why at number 25, we do have the Melt Cosmetics Recently Deceased Beetlejuice palette. Coming in at number 24, we do have Beauty Bay. This is the Book of Magic palette. First off, this is such a beautiful palette, but the color story on the inside, like, oh my gosh, I don't know why. I just really love the color story. Even though it's not like fully like the, you know, even though it's not like fully like Halloween colors, it does have some Halloween feel to it. Like this to me is more of like a witchy mermaid vibe palette, like a Book of Spells palette, not the standard like oranges and yellows and blacks and purples. Like it just kind of stands out all on its own. I think it's so freaking pretty. I really do love this palette. I love the name of it. It's meant to be Halloween, so that is why at number 24 we do have the Book of Magic palette from Beauty Bay. Coming in at number 23, we have ColourPop. This is the Gather Around Sisters. This is the first Hocus Pocus palette, so of course we have to have this in here because it's Hocus Pocus. That is a Halloween movie, and I just think this is such a pretty palette. Now, I definitely did some damage there. I scraped it one time, but it's just so pretty. It just definitely, you know, it just definitely screams Halloween. It has the Sanderson sisters in here. It has the themes. It has the muted, cool tone Halloween colors, and I just think this is such a fun palette. I remember when I reviewed this went viral all over the internet. This sold out so fast because everybody was so excited for Hocus Pocus feel. And now, while this may not be my favorite palette from them anymore when it comes to their Hocus Pocus collection, I still think it's really pretty. So that is why at number 23, we do have the Hocus Pocus Gather Around Sisters palette from ColourPop. Coming in at number 22, we do have the Lunar Beauty. This is the Moonspell Volume 2. First off, I love that it's a book, like a book of spells. You take this out and it has like the tarot reading, stuff like that, and you open up, you are going to have this beautiful color scheme right here. Now this to me is not really my color scheme. This is definitely supposed to expand on the witches theme, so it has all like the famous witches, TVs, movies, books, has all the favorite names in here. And I, you know, definitely am not the biggest fan of the color story, only because I just don't like a lot of purples and reds, but I could see why this would be a big hit during the Halloween season with those colors, because people can create them to like vampire looks, demon looks, witch looks, however you guys want to do so. You guys can create really beautiful looks using this palette, but it's just not my favorite color scheme. So that is why coming in at number 22, we do have the Moonspell Volume 2 palette from Lunar Beauty. Coming at number 20, we do have the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette right here. Now, this was the OG palette from Lunar Beauty. I still love this palette. This palette is still my go-to for the month of Halloween. It's still so beautiful. Now, while it definitely is more cool tone and has muted colors in here, I don't know, there's something about it that I'm just still kind of like gravitated to. It's probably gonna be more of the greens and blues that I'm more gravitated to in this palette, but I still think it's absolutely beautiful. I still love the outside packaging, and I still love the video that I did with this. So that is why at number 20, we do have the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. Coming number 19, we do have the Hocus Pocus. This is the Witching Hour palette from ColourPop. This is the second Hocus Pocus palette to come out. And you know what? First off, the outside packaging just screams Halloween. It just screams Halloween. And then the inside, you can absolutely see the Halloween themes in here. You're going to have those oranges and purples and those browns and those blues. I could just see the Halloween colors. I had a lot of fun playing with this. It is by far not my favorite palette with them. This one is like more lackluster compared to the other two, but I still love this palette. I still love the feel of it, and every time I look at it, I just think of Halloween. So that is why at number 19, we do have the ColourPop Hocus Pocus Witching Hour palette. Coming in at number 18, we do have the Odin's Eye collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. This is the Little Ghost palette. First off, we talk about the outside packaging. Absolutely beautiful. Just really captures the essence of Halloween. And then when you open it on the inside, this is definitely not your standard Halloween colors, but it could definitely be used for Halloween. I think if you mix this with other shades, you could definitely have a lot of fun with this palette. And I love the names in here, very Halloween-esque. So are some of the colors in here. Like this, to me, you can use for like bright festive if you want to do like a clown look, or bright festive like mermaid looks, or anything you want to do for Halloween. You could definitely dip into this for like really fun, innovative colors, but definitely doesn't scream fully Halloween, but it has some Halloween feel to it. So that is why at number 18, we do have the Little Ghost palette from Odin's Eye collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. Coming in at number 17, we have the Not Normal palette. Now, this is not by Alien Cosmetics anymore. This is actually by Unearthly Cosmetics, which I believe I do have a code with them. It's Allie Dawson. If I do, I think we'll save you guys 10% off. But I love this palette. First off, the outside packaging is super cute, but it's the color story on the inside. The color story on the inside just reminds me of like Aliens so much. And I can definitely associate Aliens with Halloween, with creating really fun Halloween alien-like looks. This palette was so fun to play with. I really enjoyed this palette so much. It's probably one of my favorites from Unearthly. It's just screams my name whenever I look at it. I freaking love it. So that is why at number 17, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics Not Normal palette. Coming at number 16, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Ghost Town palette. Now, Ghost, definitely associated with Halloween. Boo. I love this palette so much. First off, the outside packaging. Look at how cute that is, right? So freaking cute. And then you open on the inside. We have the Saloon. We have the Wild West, Ghost Town. Wild West, Ghost Town. Wild West, Ghost Town. So freaking cool. And then the color story on the inside. Now, these are not necessarily Halloween colors in my opinion, but I just love the concept and the feel. It definitely is more of a cool tone palette, and I just definitely can get into like the ghost feel with this palette, even though, like I said, it's not fully the color scheme of it. It's just the concept as a whole, but I can see myself playing with this and doing really fun, spooky like colors with this. Try to be very creative, pair it with a good black lip, and you're good to go. That is why at number 16, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics Ghost Town palette. Coming in at number 15, we do have the Glamlight Chucky palette. This is the Crazy in Love. And whenever I think of Child's Play, whenever I think of Halloween, I always watch Child's Play because Chucky is just such an iconic character. I wouldn't necessarily think fully Halloween because like Chucky just stands out all on its own, but like, I don't know. I love Child's Play. I love Chucky. Great freaking movie series. And whenever I see this, I just get excited and I want to watch it. And I just associate it with Halloween, just like creepy dolls. People always dress up as like Chucky for Halloween. So I just definitely associate it with it. Now the colors on the inside definitely do not scream Halloween at all. This is more like anti-Valentine's Day, if anything, in my opinion. But I just love the concept as a whole. And I could see myself doing like a vampiric look whenever playing with this palette. If I wanted to associate with Halloween, do something deep and vampiric, or like have like blood coming out of my mouth, like little veins, like little fangs with this palette. So that's why I'm putting it in here, because it is Chucky. It's like a horror movie, and any horror movie I like to just watch during the Halloween season. So yeah, that is why at number 15, we do have the Glamlight Chucky Mad in Love palette. And at number 14, we do have the ColourPop. This is the Welcome Foolish Mortals. I'll be your ghost.
Your ghost host.
I freaking love this palette. Now, again, this is not fully Scream Halloween on the inside, but the whole concept does, because like I love Haunted Mansion. And during Halloween, especially if you live over in California and Disneyland, they tend to deck it out with like Nightmare Before Christmas. It's just so much fun. They have they have a special segment during the Boo to You parade of like all the ghosts and whatnot. And this is definitely more like a spooky palette than anything else. It's not really Halloween, but it's spooky, and to me it just captures the essence of like spooky and Halloween with like the cobwebs, the ride, the music, everything about it. I love, and I think they did such a great job. So that is why, even though it's not fully Halloween, just the concept as a whole, I want to play with it during the Halloween season. So at number 14, we do have the ColourPop Welcome Foolish Mortals palette. Coming at number 13, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Haunted Europe palette. Now, they actually did such a phenomenal job with this palette. Like, hello, look at that. Woo! Like, look at how cool. I love that it does that. And then on the inside, you are going to have more like Halloween colors in here with like the oranges and the greens, the deep blues and the purples. There's also some cobwebs on the shade right here. And they actually kind of took some pictures in like, I think like New Louisiana like graveyard, which I've always wanted to go to. This was such a fun palette to play with. When I reviewed this palette, I actually talked about New Orleans and vampires and the lore behind it, and I freaking fell in love with this palette. I have such good memories of it, and I did it during the month of Vlog-O-Ween / Halloween, so I will always associate this as a Halloween palette, even though it's not really meant to be it. It's just more of like the haunted aspects of it. Haunted is always associated with Halloween. So coming in number 13, we do have the Nomad Cosmetics Haunted Europe palette. I messed up my numbers. I think I might have repeated the numbers. If I did, I'm so sorry. I have 36 palettes sitting in front of me, and I talk a lot, so I tend to forget, but I'll have the correct numbers down here. So if you hear me repeat a number, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Just know the right number is right here. Number 13, we do have the Witching Hour from Alien Cosmetics, aka Unearthly Cosmetics. I don't know if they still have this palette. I think they might have discontinued it, but I absolutely love this palette. It's a witching palette, so literally it has the classic Halloween colors in here of the burnt orange, the Halloween purple, the red, the brown, the green. It just screams Halloween, plus you have those Halloween names in here. Such a fun palette. I loved playing this palette. I think Unearthly did such a fantastic job with this. Really does kind of just remind me of Halloween. I get so excited every time I look at it. So that is why at number 13, we do have the Unearthly Cosmetics Witching Hour palette. Coming in at number 12, we do have the Glamlight Scooby-Doo. This is the Creeps and Crawls palette. Now, I definitely think that this is such a gorgeous palette for Halloween. Like, you can create so many different fun, deep, dark looks with this. I think Glamlight did such a good job at capturing the essence of Scooby-Doo. And for some reason, I always just think of Scooby-Doo. I always think of Halloween, even though it's not. I guess like the ghost finding, the hauntings, the creepiness of it just kind of reminds me of Halloween. So does Courage the Cowardly Dog. That show still scares the crap out of me. I tell you guys all the time, that show left some nightmares along the way with me. But yeah, I just see this and I just get so inspired to create a really fun, maybe like a spider, like a Black Widow look, a spider look, a ghostly look. Like, I just get really inspired whenever I look at this palette. I think Glamlight really knocked out the park with this. So that is why at number 12, we do have the Glamlight Scooby-Doo Creeps and Crawls palette. Coming in at number 11, we do have another Glamlight palette. This is the Scooby-Doo Rut Row palette right here. Again, look at the outside packaging, like screams Halloween, screams spooky. And then the color story. Yes, and yes, I can do swamp vibes, like a swamp monster, alien, ghost, witch. I could do so much with this color scheme right here. I just get so inspired. I look at this and I just automatically think of like fun Halloween colors, zombie. Like, I could do so much. I just really get inspired with this palette in particular. I think Glamlight did such a great job. It's why I love it so much. So that is why coming in at number 11, we do have the Glamlight Scooby-Doo Rut Row palette. Coming in at number 10, you guys are going to start to see a repeat of these palettes from last year in my top 10. But coming in at number 10, I don't even know if this brand exists anymore. But we do have the Makeup Maniacs. This is the Boo Thing palette right here. First off, hello, looks like Halloween. Like, it's so freaking beautiful. And when you open it on the inside, it has those classic Halloween colors of black, oranges, yellows, purples, white. It has those spooky names to it. Candy corn, cinnamon, goblin, spooky sunrise. Like, it just looks so much like a Halloween palette. I love this. I play with this every Halloween year, and I just get so inspired whenever I look at it. I get so excited for the Halloween season, and I just don't know if they're still a thing. I don't know if this brand still exists. I really don't. I haven't heard anyone talk about it in a very long time. It'd be really sad because they really kind of cater to the Halloween market, and this is like such a fun palette. So Coming in at number 10, we do have the Makeup Maniacs Boo Thing palette. Coming in at number 9, we do have It's Freaking Bats. This is Batty Bean's collaboration with Shroud Cosmetics. I love this palette. Whenever I look at this palette, I just always think of mummies. I literally had a conversation with Betty Jean and I was like, I don't know why, but whenever I look at this palette, I think of mummies. I don't know what it is, but here we have the It's Freaking Bats. Now my palette is starting to crumble a little bit like that. My palette started to break up a little bit. I don't know why. It's stored really nicely. Nothing's touching it. So I don't really know why it's starting to break apart a little bit. It's a little sad because I love this palette and I just want to do like really fun like zombie and mummy looks whenever I play with this palette. It just is beautiful. I think Betty really did capture the essence of it, and she's the queen of Halloween and spooky, so she knew what she was doing. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I believe they actually do have this back in stock if you guys want to get your hands on this, but it is so freaking pretty. So coming at number 9, we do have the It's Freaking Bat from Batty Bean and Shroud Cosmetics. Coming in at number 8, which I am actually so excited to talk to you guys about because it's actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I love this look that I created. I think it's so beautiful, but we have a brand new palette from Rebel Rouge Labs. I have talked to you guys about this brand for quite some time now. They're featured every year in my Halloween ranking. I have their Howling For You palette still in my top 3 because it's still just a gorgeous freaking palette, and they have definitely proved their formula ever since. But they created the brand new Creatures of Forever palette, and come on, just look at how cool the outside packaging looks, right? So freaking cool. But on the inside, like, oh my gosh, the inside, like, look at how they change it. I love how they change it. They've always been so great about doing that. But the inside color story is just really, really, really pretty. Now, this is supposed to be like a classic 90s palette. It's supposed to be like a classic Halloween look, like bring you back to like the early 80s and 90s. And to me, it's so freaking beautiful. I am wearing the shade called Time Terror, Midnight Club, Spooksville, and Ancient Evil. I have a little demonstration going on for you guys right now with this palette. I just had a lot of fun. The formula in here has definitely improved since I played with the Howlin' For You palette. And whenever I play with this brand, I just think back the time when I explained to you guys what the traditions of Halloween were, and I love it. I love it so freaking much. I think that they did such a great job with this. So I'm going to do a review on this, or at least I'm going to feature it in like a get ready with me so you guys can see me use this palette again because I love the look that I created right now. It's so freaking pretty. And that's why coming at number 8, we do have the Creatures of Forever Rebel Rouge Labs palette. Coming at number 7, we do have the Hocus Pocus 2. This is the ColourPop's third palette with Disney doing the Hocus Pocus collaboration. I got tongue-tied there. I love this palette. I think this palette is everything. I think ColourPop really knocked out of the park when creating this palette right here. Definitely has all the Halloween vibes of this. Whenever I look at it, I kind of want to do like a crazy mad scientist look. I don't know why. I just get so inspired. But you have the oranges, the greens, the purples, the blacks. It just screams Halloween. It screams witches. It screams Hocus Pocus. They really know what they're doing when they created this palette. It's one of my absolute favorites from them. So that is why at number 7, we do have the ColourPop Hocus Pocus 2 palette. Coming at number 6, we do have Gourmand Girls Haunted palette. Now, I have not had a chance to play with this on camera for you guys, but I have to say this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Now, it definitely is very similar to the Nightshade palette, but there's also differences as well. As you guys can see, this is definitely a Halloween theme. You have like the little witch hat, the gravestones in here. This is again in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny, and I absolutely loved their spook palette. I love the Nightshade palette, and I just really love this palette. I'm definitely really excited to play with this. I'm definitely excited to feature this on my channel this month for Vlog-O-Ween, and I just think that Gourmand Girls did such a good job. Whenever I look at this, I just get so inspired to do like a witchy swamp vibe look, or like a cat look, or alien look. I could do so much with this palette, so versatile. So that is why at number 6, we do have the Gourmand Girls Haunted palette. Coming in at number 5, we do have the Odin's Eye collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. This is the Trick or Treat palette. Hello, Trick or Treat. You guys know that's automatically a Halloween theme. I love the colors on this. And they open the palette on the inside. This screams more Halloween to me than the other palette. This has like the standard Halloween colors of like the gold, the yellow, the oranges, the blacks, the reds, the white, a little bit of green and purple. I love this. It has great Halloween names to it. I think that Angelica did a great job with this palette. This is my personal favorite from the 2, and I just had so much fun playing with this. I'm definitely going to be using this all season long, and I don't know. I love it. I love the Trick or Treat palette. It just makes me so excited for Halloween. So at number 5, we do have the Odin's Eye collaboration with Angelica, the Trick or Treat palette. In at number 4, and I just reviewed this. If you guys have not seen it, please go watch it because I had so much fun in that review. But we have the Glamlight X Ghost Space palette right here. Now, whenever I think of Scream, I always think of Halloween because I always watch it during the month of Halloween. I also like watch the Nightmare. I always watch the Nightmare on Elm Street video. I always watch the Nightmare on Elm Street. I watch Freddy vs. Jason. I watch Friday the 13th. I watch Halloween, like all the classic like Halloween movies, Saw, everything. I just always love watching horror movies during the month of October. So whenever I saw they were doing this, I got so excited. And I'm pretty sure, if you guys paid attention, Glamlight just announced that they have another reveal coming today. And I'm pretty sure from what I've seen from the pictures, it's going to be 1, 2, Freddy's looking at you. 3, 4, better lock your doors. I better not get demonetized. I just love that little rhyme, but I'm pretty sure it's that from what we've seen with the little teaser. But coming in at number 4, we do have the Glamlight X Ghostface palette. Like I said, I just reviewed this. I love the packaging as well, by the way. And then you look at the palette on the inside, like it is going to be a gray tone palette, like a gray tone, cool tone palette. But to me, it's so much fun. I'm definitely playing with this all month long for the month of Halloween. It has a spooky vibes to it, has a cool tone vibes to it. And if I didn't want to do anything spooky, I could just use this as like an everyday palette because it truly is so beautiful. The formula is amazing and just, it's Scream, it's Ghostface, and I just associate that with Halloween. So that is why at number 4, we do have the Glamlight X Ghostface palette. Coming in at number 3, we do have the Rebel Rouge Labs. This is the Howlin' For You palette. Whenever I reviewed this palette, I talked about the origins of Halloween, and I'm still so obsessed with this palette. I want to let you guys know, if you guys do buy anything from Rebel Rouge Lab, you guys can use my discount code. It's not an affiliate code, so I don't make anything off of it, but it's just a discount code to save you guys 10%, and it's just code Allie. You guys can use over at Rebel Rouge Labs to save you guys 10%, and I love this palette. First off, we have the little castle, then we have the wolf with the graves, so freaking pretty, and then the color story on the inside is literally Halloween. It's Halloween. I get so excited every time I look at this palette. I think of the time that I told you guys about the history and the origins of how Halloween became to be, and I just think this is so fun. Such a fun palette. I get excited every time I look at this. I only really play with this during the Halloween season because to me, I just want to cherish this palette as much as possible, but I just love this palette. To me, it's everything I'm looking for when it comes to Halloween. So that is why at number 3, we do have the Rebel Rouge Labs Howlin' For You palette, and I think it'll always be my top 3 every year. Coming in at number 2, we do have the Halloween palette. This is Baddie Bean's collaboration with Shroud Cosmetics. This came in number 2 last year, and this is just so freaking pretty. First off, we have the name Halloween, and then we have the beautiful color story on the inside. Like, come on, Betty did such a fantastic job with this. Like, I love this. I love this. She did amazing tutorials using this palette last year if you guys want to go check it out. But I think Betty truly did capture the essence of Halloween. I love it so much. It was so hard to choose between this and the number 1 spot. But there is just everything I need. And like Halloween is right here. The names, the packaging, the color story, the formula, everything. Betty did such a fantastic job. So that's why number 2, we do have the Baddie Bean X Shroud Cosmetics Halloween palette. Coming in at number 1, no one has been able to take away this spot from this brand. This is the second time that this brand has come in number 1 for my ranking of the Halloween palettes. But we have the Spooked palette from Gourmand Girls. This to me is just everything I need. Everything I need in a Halloween palette. I love the outside packaging, but the color story on the inside is just classic Halloween colors. I'm gonna have those oranges, those purples, those reds, those greens, those whites, those cool tone, muted shades, a little bit of pops of gold in here. So freaking pretty. I love the pumpkin. I love the cobweb. I love the bats. I love the names in here. I love everything about this palette. This palette was so fun. I have used this a lot last year in the month of Halloween, and I know I'm going to do the same thing this year. I just think it's such a great concept. They did such a beautiful job at just capturing everything I'm looking for in a Halloween palette. I think it's amazing. I really do think it's amazing. I love the little white right here. It's just, this is everything I'm looking for. Everything I'm looking for. I could do a green and black look, a purple and black look, a red and black look, a green and black look, an orange and black look, or an orange and purple look, an orange and green look. I could do so much with this. That's why it's so versatile. It's why I love it so much. And it's why for the second year in a row, it is coming in at number 1 for my absolute favorite Halloween inspired palette. We do have Spooked from Gourmand Girls. Ooh, so those are all of my palette ranking, guys. I'm sorry if I talked a lot. I'm sorry if it got out of order at any point. It's just a lot of palettes sitting in front of me, but I love doing this so much because Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday in the world. And to talk about my favorite palettes that inspire me to create fun Halloween looks is just some of the best things ever. And I'm also so glad to be back for Vlog-O-Ween. And I do want to say, I do have something special for today's video. If you made it this far into the video, I have something special for you. As a way of saying thank you so much for just your continued support from me and my channel, and to show love for the Halloween season, I actually teamed up with Rebel Rouge Labs to give away 2 palettes today to 1 lucky winner. So we're going to be giving away the Creatures of Forever palette right here, and one of my favorites, the Howlin' For You palette. Rebel Rouge Labs was so kind enough to send these 2 over to me as a great way to start off the Vlog-O-Ween series and the Halloween series, and just to show our love for this holiday. So 1 lucky winner is going to win both palettes. And how do you guys enter? Guys, it is very, very simple. All you guys have to do is be subscribed to my channel. Make sure you guys like this video, follow me on Instagram, and leave a comment down below where I can reach you guys, whether it's through Instagram, Twitter, I guess now X, email, whatever is the easiest way for me to contact you. Leave that comment down below. And for a bonus entry, make sure you guys head over to Instagram and go follow Rebel Rouge Lab, because this would not be possible without them. So I'm gonna have this giveaway going on for 1 week. So it's gonna be closing next Sunday, where I'll be randomly drawing 1 winner to win both these palettes right here as our way to kick off the spooky season. So thank you so much to Rebel Rouge Labs for making this giveaway possible. And like I said, go over there, go say hi, thank them, because like I said, this would not be possible without them. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know down below what palettes I talked about that you guys are most excited about. What are your favorite Halloween palettes? Maybe I missed something and I don't have. Let me know. But that is it for today's video, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 4 to 5 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel. It's R for the Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful page members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe, either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in my very next video.